What's up, people? In this video, Spotted Elephant says, "This is really popping on YouTube right now if you want to react." Well, God, I wonder what this is. Okay, I don't know. What's really popping on YouTube these days?
Hey guys, and welcome back to my abandoned channel. If you do not follow...
I'm a heroin addict? An hour and 15 minutes? Well, I wonder, it's like, how am I supposed to react to a video that's an hour and 15 minutes? So I watch this like 10 times speed? Well, I guess this is her comeback. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch like the first 10 minutes of it or something. Alright, here we go. Anyway, good for her. For admitting it.
Follow me on Twitter or Instagram. You probably should. Just saying. Unless you really don't want to know what's going on with me, then absolutely do not follow me on there because I do not shut up on there. But I've been gone for quite a while, but I've been updating everyone on Instagram and Twitter about my whereabouts, what's been going on, insight into my emotions, and the very, very intense situation that has been going on in my life. And if you do not follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you have no clue what I'm talking about. That's okay though. I made a very long video, so you can see, for you guys to know exactly what the heck has been going on. Now, this video includes a lot more information than I've ever spoken about on Instagram or Twitter, so even for those who do know the general synopsis of what's been going on, this is much more detailed and very emotional, but necessary. Now, for the first half of this video, and I know the first half is very long, I'm going to be very awkward. It took me a long time to get comfortable talking. It literally took me half the video to get into my skin and comfortable talking in front of the camera again, so I am redoing my intro right now because at first I was just like stuttering and not knowing what the heck to say. So it's going a lot better right now, so I thought I'd redo it. Alright, hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So hopefully I'll edit it and make it better, but yeah, I am kind of awkward, but the message is still there, and it's an emotional one. But basically, before I start, let me go ahead and warn you guys about what you're about to watch. Over the last 2 years, there has been noticeable changes in my personality and on my channel. I would go months in between uploads. It almost seemed fake, my personality, like my happiness and everything. There was this giant wall between me and you guys, and I'm not just talking about the computer screen, I'm talking about an emotional wall. It was like I was not there. And for some people, they didn't really notice it because they didn't know me well enough, but for long-time viewers, there was a change that got more and more dramatic over the last 2 years. I did try to get better on and off. There were some times where I genuinely thought I was doing good, and other days when I filmed that I was just doing rotten, but tried to put on an act to make everyone not worry. So the truth of everything is finally coming out now. I'm finally able to talk about everything that happened and how I ended up here. And yes, the title is a crazy one, but that is the truth. So basically, this video may not be best for younger viewers if you are a parent who lets their child on their iPad Alright, I don't know what's happening. Anyway, if you are a parent and you're letting your child use the iPad in the backseat of your car and you hear me talking out of the iPad right now, I suggest that you change what they're watching because it's
okay, I'm a heroin addict. So this is like, you know, good for her, I guess, that she's doing what she thinks is the right thing, coming out, talking about, I'm an addict, this was my problem, hopefully me sharing my experience will help you. The only thing, I guess, that I don't like about this is that, and you see this a lot, I don't know if she's been going to meetings like AA or NA or whatever, but what they do, I could be wrong, I've only been like forced to go to a few, but what they do is the first step is admitting that you're an addict and you'll be an addict forever, right? It's like, you have to admit you have no control, basically, which, like, I'm not saying AA is bad, and it's always bad for everybody all the time. I know some people manage to turn their life around and get clean and blah 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 through AA, so good for them. I'm glad it exists. 12-step program, like the guy that invented that, clearly ahead of his time. I just don't like coming out and saying I'm a heroin addict, or I'm an alcoholic, or I'm an anorexic, or I'm this, or I'm that. It's like, you can say anything, you know. When you say I am blah blah blah, I mean, I encourage you to believe that speaking those words will cement it in reality, right? What if you said, for example, I used to do a lot of heroin, but now I'm just kind of over it, just like stupid, like whatever. Even if you don't think that that's true, just say it, right? And notice the effect that it has on you. I don't know, simple advice. I'm definitely not going to do this entire video. I might skip ahead a little bit right now, or a lot.
No glad to deal with people who hate me. I was like, oh my goodness, what have I done wrong? I need to change this. I need to do something to make them know that I'm not this terrible person they think I am, and I just did not know how to handle it. And that is when my insecurities really started to show on my channel, because I started to monitor everything I did on there. If I saw something that I did that someone didn't like, instead of just saying, you know, hey, that's me, I'm gonna keep doing it, instead I just stopped doing it because I was so scared, like, oh my god, they must be right that I'm terrible. If they don't like the way I said this word, I won't say it anymore, just because it made someone happy, not because I personally understood why I shouldn't say it or believed I shouldn't. And that's just a hypothetical example. There really isn't a specific word I stopped saying because of people, but that is when I started to have identity problems on my channel. I started to get really, really scared that I was messing up, that I was doing something that wasn't good, and I just wanted to be accepted. Always been a problem with me is I wanted to always be accepted. To preface this next part, I want to say that I've always been a person who struggles being alone. I'm extremely codependent. I've been single for quite a while. Like when I started my YouTube, I actually was dating someone on and off from my job where I worked at Petco. I hated Petco. I didn't work there, but I did just to be around animals. And when I started making more money from YouTube than I did at Petco, I quit Petco. I started just doing full-time YouTube, and that's when I completely broke it off with the guy that I was seeing at the time. From the time I quit Petco up until my newest relationship that you guys were aware of started, I was single, and I was doing okay, but I was really uncomfortable with being alone. So the combination of not having really friends or a romantic life and just living at home, I didn't have a job, I didn't go to school, I was completely isolated, and all I had was YouTube. That was it. Being completely isolated and wanting to be accepted, craving that codependent relationship, I was pretty much ready to jump on to anyone who looked at me even. Basically any boy that looked my way and said, hey, you're cute. I was like, I'm ready. I just wanted to be loved, basically. This is when my channel really, really, really took a dive. I mean, all of a sudden I went from, making so many followers and having such a loving and supportive audience to having a very scared audience and having a lot of people wonder what changed. And I'm finally able to say that it was my relationship that I got into. I just want to preface that I do not want to create some kind of mob mentality.
Interesting. I don't know anything about her. Like, was she dating a famous YouTuber, or did he? I don't really know. Whatever. But yeah, that's something I can relate to. Not that anybody cares about my opinion, but when you make videos, and fine, this is something that I'm kind of over at this point. Like, but you want people to like you, and you want people to like your videos, and you want people to say nice things about you. It's kind of it's our natural human reaction, right? It's not like she's the only person in the world who doesn't like reading mean comments on her videos. We all like that, right? If somebody, whatever, like if somebody leaves a negative comment, like I just got a couple negative comments, like a couple minutes ago. Some guy was like, what happens is, it's kind of weird. If people don't like your videos, they'll go and watch a lot of your videos and leave negative comments on a lot of them. And you're like, okay, cool. Thanks for the comments. It was this guy, Kex Plet, Cope like the Pope. I don't know why only one is showing up here. He went and commented on a lot of other ones. At least I think he did. Didn't he? Huh, I guess it was just one. Anyway, whatever. But honestly, the videos where people leave negative comments, basically it's like this. The more negative comments I have on a video and the more dislikes I have on a video, the better that video does in the algorithm. So, I don't want to say I don't really care, but I'm also not an insecure girl. So I'm an insecure guy. All right. Anyway.
With this story. The story is not the happiest, okay? You're going to hear some uncomfortable stuff, but I do not want accusations towards this person.
God.
Of an identity crisis. I got in a relationship with a guy, and most of you are aware of who this person is. No, I was not an idiot the whole time, where I was completely unaware of all of these scary allegations and accusations towards this person. I was not blind to the dangers of the relationship. I just simply felt like I could not say a word about it, and I had to shut my mouth and deal with it. And I promise this story has everything to do with the title of this video. Basically, I meet this guy online. I was a huge fan of his music, and I was flattered that someone that I thought was so talented was interested in someone like me. And there were a lot of red flags from the beginning that normally I would have been put off by, but I'm the kind of person that always sees the good over the bad, and will sometimes completely ignore danger because of this tiny little nice thing I kind of see behind the wall of danger, So with him, he was very nice and sweet with me. He sent me flowers and a teddy bear and stuff right when I met him. And by meet, I mean we talked over the phone. We FaceTimed all the time, and I saw the good in him over these bad warning signs, kind of. So I saw the good in him and decided I was going to go out and meet him. When I announced online that I was planning to go see him and that we were somewhat dating, I already had a ticket, I already had all the plans to see him and all this stuff. I got a few warnings about that he had some allegations of abuse against him, and they warned me hey, this guy has some allegations, they haven't been proven yet, but there's speculation that he has abused his ex-girlfriends. You should probably stay away. In my head I thought, I'm going out to California for other reasons other than just to meet him, and he likes me, and I don't think I'm gonna find anyone else that likes me. That is how low my self-esteem was at the time, that you could tell me that this guy could potentially hurt me and that he's hurt other people, and I still was like, I don't think anyone else is gonna like me. So even if he's done some bad things, this is probably all I'm capable of achieving in a relationship. So I ignored the warning because I already felt, because of the way he talked with me, because of the way he was very good at picking up on exactly the kind of person I was and manipulating my emotions into feeling like I needed to stay. He told me from the beginning that, he's nothing without me, that I made him happier than he's ever been in his whole life in just a matter of, 2 weeks, blah, blah, blah. And just the way he worded things was very unhealthy for me, because I took that as, even with these potential allegations, that I can't leave this guy. I'm the only thing that's making him have, any motivation to keep going, and I can't leave this guy also because it's the best I'm gonna get. So there were two sides of this. One, I felt like I couldn't really leave, and two, I felt like I would not find any better if I did. So I pursued going out to California and meeting him. We ended up spending every day together in California. He is very, very good at wrapping himself around me, and the second I met him, he had me stuck. I did like him right when I met him though, so yes, he did have me trapped. He played on my emotions, my desire to be a giver, my people pleaser tendencies, and my insecurities. He grabbed every little thing about me. He saw right.
Oh my god. An hour and 20 minutes of this. I wonder, Spotted Elephant, did you watch this? Like the entire thing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really want to watch this anymore, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not about to watch another hour of this, even at double speed. Like, even at like quadruple speed, I'm not about to watch this. Um, okay, you met a guy. He was a bad boy. You fell in love with the whole bad boy thing. You know, his friends do heroin, or he does heroin. You got hooked on heroin, and then eventually you had to break up with him because your life fell apart, and now you're doing better. She seems clean now. Does not seem like she's like shooting up anymore. Um, okay, cool, I guess. And I'm sure there's more drama, and like, I'm not gonna watch this entire thing. Like, I almost feel bad like uploading it. I don't know. Let's skip ahead a little bit more. Maybe we'll get to the.
Because he didn't inject it, and that's what he had a problem with. And again, I did not know much about addiction at the time, so I just listened, and I was like, okay, please never do that again, though, because it scared me. And he promised and swore in his life that he never would. I guess a few weeks later, he had a real hard time keeping that promise, because I went out to go get my nails done with my mom, and I came back home and opened the kitchen, walked in, and a weird guy was in my house that I've never met. Turns out this is the guy that he met when he went to go get the weed. It wasn't from the friend that I thought he was getting it from. It was from this guy who is a drug dealer. I had a drug dealer in my house, and I've never had a drug dealer in my house. And I was like, what is going on? He pulls me aside and brings me into the bathroom, and he tells me, look, I know you like cocaine, and I personally like opiates. My drug dealer here has both. He will give you cocaine, and I can just have one fun night with these, they were Roxy's, 30 milligram Oxycontin. And so he was like, I'll have the Oxys, you have the Coke, and we'll just both have a good fun night, and then we'll stop. And I stood there, and I was scared, and I told him I didn't believe him, that this would be the only night. He swore to me up and down it would, that this dude just happened to be running into town, he'll be out of town tomorrow, and it won't even matter because we won't have any access to it, and we'll stop. So with the promise of this really nice cocaine, I agreed. And I said, okay, long story short, that was not the only night. He began to do that 4 nights in a row, I want to say, and he acted like a insane human being on the opiates that he was taking. And it scared me, and I just wanted my boyfriend back. The one that he was when he was sober, and the one that, took care of me, and that was nice and caring and loving, which he did do those things when he was sober, and I just wanted that back. I grabbed all my cocaine on the 4th night, and I flushed it all down the sink, which is really bad for the environment, but I was not thinking, please do not attack me. I flushed it all down the sink, and I said, look, I'm not doing this anymore. You said we'd only be doing this if we both were using. I'm not using anymore, so now it's your turn to flush your stuff, because I can't do this anymore, and I want my boyfriend back. Instead of agreeing or being loving or being caring, he became this insane human being that was the scariest person I've ever seen in my life, and he told me that I just threw baking soda down the sink, and I actually was hiding the cocaine, that I was a liar, and that I'm not going to ruin his, all these curse words, I'm not going to ruin his night, and that he's going to...
God. Okay. I guess some more details here. Yeah, like, I don't know. Drugs are bad. Don't do drugs, kids. Like, I don't know. And that's it, I guess. Yeah, don't do drugs. Like, I don't know. When I was, so I'm from this part of town called the Palisades, and a lot of people, it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's like a rich white neighborhood, but like, it's in between Santa Monica and Malibu, which are 2 very nice parts of LA. I guess Malibu is technically not LA, but like whatever, it's basically LA. And the Palisades is right in the middle. And it's very nice. It's on the beach. You have a lot of like celebrities that buy homes there, and a lot of suburban, I guess you could call them suburban, even though it's LA, like suburban white kids basically who live next to the beach, who have nothing better to do and just do a bunch of drugs. So you have like oxys floating around, like some people get into heroin, cocaine, all that stuff. And some people die, some people have overdoses or overdose. Some people, start dealing, like the whole range of like all that stuff. And, it's very rare that somebody comes out of that without any scars, whether it's like legal troubles or let's call them addiction issues, or they, mess up their school, or like fired from a job, or, I could tell some stories about some people that I went to high school with that, like, I'm not saying they're better than her stories. This sounds pretty crazy. But yeah, they'll do that to you. Like, just don't do them, kids at home. Or I don't know, like, they say addiction is measured in consequences. So I think if you're an unstable person and you have a lot of money, you'll just even become even more unstable. Like Tony Robbins actually says, he's like, whoever you are when you don't have money, when you do have money, you'll be that person, but even more so, right? Like when you have money, it won't make you change. It'll just further push you. You'll just be more of who you are. Like actually, like not the same. You'll just be more of it. You'll have more of it. Or what does it say? Whatever you have when you don't have money, you'll just have a lot more of it when you do have money. Something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Let's get to move on here.
Back in, but I want to put the bowl away. So, okay, so then I go in the kitchen because I decided I wanted ice cream too. And I go and I open the freezer, and near the ice cream is the pack of needles, and there's only 4. And I could have sworn that there were 5. And I thought, I was like, oh, no, I have to be crazy. Thought I started with 6, which means I only have 5 now. Why are there only 4? And it just all these thoughts are going through my head, and one of them crossed my mind. What if my ex took the needle and is using it? And I thought, no way, that cannot be happening, because he told me if he ever used a needle again, that his life would be over, and that he swore to never, ever, ever touch a needle again in his life, and that is the one promise that he has kept to me so far, and there's no way that he broke it. I go over to the sink, and I notice he only put the bowl of ice cream in there, not the spoon, and the spoon was missing. So my whole stomach just, everything just sank in me, and it was the grossest feeling, and everything just zoned out. And I remember walking up to the bathroom door and going to turn the knob, and it was locked, and he has never once since living with me ever locked the bathroom door. And so I said, hey, can you let me in? And he goes, why do you need to come in? And I'm like, I just, please let me in, please. He goes, why do you need to come in? You're scaring me. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm scaring you? I'm just asking you to come into the restroom. And he doesn't even sound like him. He has the like weirdest voice, super high pitched and scary, and it's not him. And I was like, please let me in the bathroom. And like all the while, like my worst fears were coming to life in my brain. I'm like, the bathroom's locked, the needle's missing, he has a spoon, which you need a spoon to cook heroin to shoot it. He finally gets up and lets me in, and he's like, I don't know what you want. And instead of staying in the bathroom, he walks out and goes and hides in a corner, and I start digging through everything, and I find the spoon in the drawer. And I'm like, why is the spoon in the drawer? And he goes, I don't know what you're talking about, I don't know what you mean, it's not, not my spoon, I don't know. He's acting all weird, and I turn it over and it's burnt. And I just start sobbing and screaming at him, why? And I beg for him to give me the needle. He insists there's no needle, says there's no needle anywhere, I didn't do that, I don't know what you're talking about. He's still denying it, and I just feel defeated. The last promise that he had kept to me was broken, and I did not know what to do. I felt useless, I felt pathetic, I felt worthless, I felt disgusting. And finally he showed me where the needle was. He was hiding it in one of his jackets, and I said, you need to go to rehab, you need to get help, please flush this needle with me, and let's end this once and for all. Let's get you help, let's finish this, let's get you into rehab, I'll stay with you, I'll support you, I'll pay for the rehab, let's just get you better. He says, okay, but first let me tell you a story. And he starts talking, and he's telling me the story, and he goes on and on and on for like an hour, and it's like his whole life story about how pathetic he felt growing up, and how this relationship is the best thing he's ever had, and all this stuff. And it sounded like it was leading up to him agreeing to flush the needle with me. Let me remind you that by now I know he has the needle, but he won't give it to me. He got it himself out of a jacket, and he's holding on to it, and he won't hand it over. And that's why I was begging him, please, let's flush it. That's why I didn't just throw it down the drain myself. He had it, and I couldn't get to it, and he was giving this whole story, and I thought it was going to end with him handing it to me and saying, okay babe, let's flush this together, and let me go get help. The story was about to be over. And I still remember this moment, and I will never forget it in my entire life. I was sitting on the bed, he was at the end of the bed, standing up, pacing back and forth the edge of the bed, and I'm sitting all the way in the bed with my hands around my legs and listening. And he goes, I just really think that this is the time, and I thought he was going to say that we flush this and get it over with. But instead he goes, I really think that we should finish what I have left of the heroin together and then get clean. We'll have the best high that you've ever had, and we'll have it together, and it'll be beautiful, and I'll hold you, and we'll watch a movie, and we'll be in complete peace, and then we'll never do this again, and we will get clean and sober, and we put all the drugs in our past, and I will go to rehab, and I will get help, but let's just have one more good night, and then I'll go get help. I felt like someone grabbed a rug underneath me and just ripped it, and I fell face down into the ground. I could not believe what was coming out of his mouth, and that this man that I was literally ruining my career for, giving him all the money I had, lost my family over, lost my friends over, lost my credibility over, this man that I was willing to do anything for, just asked to shoot heroin into my veins. I said no, and I told him to leave. He refused to leave. He said he had nowhere to go. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to be on the streets? I'm scared. I don't know what to do. Please don't make me go. I'm scared. I don't know why I got high. I didn't know how to ignore the needle. I'm sorry. Blah, blah, blah. And please not to leave him out in the cold alone. And played right into me. Knew exactly how I worked, because I didn't know how to kick that man out and put him on the street. I was so scared if I kicked him out that he would go get more heroin and overdose. At least if I let him stay, that I would know.
All right, I see where this is going. You know, it's kind of funny, right? Like, what's the classic? I mean, it's not funny. I'm not like laughing at her situation. Like, it sucks, obviously. But what's the classic like trope, right? Which is that girls go for the bad boys. You know, they go for the bad boys. They like the guys that they can't tame, the wild guys. And like, look, like this girl. I don't know what she looked like before, but she's very attractive. Probably has her, like, she's famous, she's making tons of money, and she goes for some guy. I don't know. I think this guy's also famous, right? Johnny Craig, or something. I don't know. Is this the same guy? Like, I think it's the same guy. So, you know, yet she's like giving this guy all her money, or a lot of her money. She's being caused intense emotional pain by a guy. You know, I don't know him. Maybe he's a really nice guy, but clearly has some issues and is not a like traditional like manly man, I don't think. But look at like all of what she's putting herself to stay with this guy, to care for him, to like get him help and do all this, which like I don't want to say in pickup they tell you to do that, but they say you need to create an emotional reaction, and this is definitely an emotional reaction, right? I'm not, you know, they don't say like, okay, you need to get your girlfriend hooked on heroin and then like try and hide the needle when she like tries to like, you know, open the bathroom door and catch you. Oh my God, I'm spitting everywhere. But it's just interesting to see how, if you know, because what do they say? Like, nice guys don't get anywhere. If you're nice, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. Oh, you look really pretty. I really like your dress. Like, your makeup looks great. Like, whatever. Like, you have to be nice, but you can't only be nice, I guess, is the thing. Like, you have to, I'm not saying you have to shoot heroin or be like a tattooed like rapper or something, but you have to show that you have some teeth, I guess, or that there's something wrong with you, I guess. I don't know. I don't really understand the appeal. Also, I don't want to say I feel bad for him that she's like blowing him up in like an hour, 20-minute video. Also telling the story from her point of view where, and again, I haven't watched this entire thing. I'm definitely not going to. you know, there's always three sides to every story, like person A's side, person B's side, and then the truth, which is somewhere in the middle. But whatever, like, you know, not like doubting her or anything. Seems legit, I guess. It's believable. Yeah, don't do drugs. What's wrong with you?
Oh, he was safe, and if he did overdose, I could call the police, an ambulance. Could not bend my hand. You see how thin my hand is? Look at this picture. I couldn't bend it for a week. And every single time that pain was excruciating. Accidentally hitting an artery or getting caught in there. That was the most excruciating pain the entire time I was pleading. Please make it stop. I swear to God, I'll never shoot up again if you just take this pain from me. And then it would pass, and I'd sit down, and I'd start to feel sick, and I'd go, okay, I'm okay. If I die this time, I'm gonna shoot up again. It's so hard to choose anything over the addiction. I couldn't choose anything over the addiction. So you may be wondering how I'm sitting here right now, clean and sober for 2 months now. As you guys know, I had an assistant that would come to my house and help me with my animals, and mainly help me with like day-to-day tasks so I could focus more on the animals. She had a dream, apparently, that I had died. And she continued to have the dream every night for like a week. And so she came to my house for her, you know, assistant stuff, and she just broke down crying and said, Taylor, I've had this dream about 3 other friends of mine, and they all died within a month of me having that dream, all from drug-related things or suicides. And she was like, Taylor, I never did anything. I had those dreams. I watched them use. I watched them be depressed, and I never interfered or thought it was my place to do anything. But I'm not about to watch another friend die. And I was like, you don't have to do anything. Well, you know what? I guess I agree. Give me until Friday. And if I'm not clean Friday, then you can take me to rehab. And I was saying, oh my God, I'm gonna lose her, and I can't let her back in this house because she's gonna take me, and I can't do this. I can't get sober. I thought I was never gonna let her back in. But if you guys have any kind of trigger for needles, this is the number you should skip to so you don't see the next photos. She took photos of my bathroom, which was this beautiful bathroom. Here's a picture of it, nice and clean. That's my beautiful bathroom. That was when I moved into the house, and it was a beautiful house. She actually went into my bathroom and had taken photos while she was cleaning. She actually had taken photos of my bathroom and what it looked like. You have to know this wasn't me setting it up to try to look bad. This is literally what my bathroom looked like every day. And it terrified me, and I hated it. This disgusting bathroom is what I was living in. There was blood on the walls, on the ceiling, on the mirrors. I would go outside of that bathroom, sleep in the bed, wake up. The second I wake up, like I couldn't sleep through the night without waking up and medicating myself. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and ask my boyfriend to help shoot me up, because all this time I could not shoot myself up. I could not find my veins because I have very sensitive skin, and it hurt to dig around to try to find veins, and it was easier to just pinch myself. I actually have scars. I don't know if you guys can see. I actually have scars from where I pinched myself really hard while he dug around my arms trying to find whatever veins would work. I couldn't really do it. I only shot myself up like twice ever. So I wasn't even shooting myself up ever. I'd wake up throughout the night, roll myself out of bed, go into the bathroom, he'd shoot me up in this disgusting pit, and then I'd fall back asleep. Anyway, but she texted my mom and showed her everything that was happening and was like, your daughter needs help. She needs to get away from this guy. And so my mom started randomly showing up every day unannounced to my house. And I kept telling her, no, I got sober that day. And I started on Suboxone, and I kept telling her I was healthy, that I was clean, and that I was sober. And so my mom knew that my boyfriend was the one that was shooting me up. So she told my boyfriend, you need to leave and go somewhere while Taylor gets clean. She knew that he wouldn't leave if it was permanent. Like if she said you have to leave and never come back, he would have put up a fight. But if she told him that he had to leave for like a week, which he agreed to do. So he left the house for a week. Right before he left, he went out and got more drugs. And he got 10 pieces of tar, basically, 10 little baggies, $20 dubs of heroin. And he gave me 5, and he took 5 with him to New York. And he left the 5 with me, and I just muscled all 5 of them in my butt because I didn't have any veins left to use. For the next few days, I was using those 5 pieces. I was using as little as I could, making it go as long as I could because I didn't know the dealer's number. I didn't know how to find drugs after that, and my ex refused to give me the dealer's number, which thank God they refused to, since he wasn't there anymore to shoot me up. He just said no. I had no access to any more drugs. I was running out, and I was still telling my mom I was clean and sober. And my plan was, whenever I ran out, that I was going to sober up in between my mom visiting. I ran out, and I ended up getting on my hands and knees and crawling around my entire house, finding every little piece of cotton, which is the filter that goes between the heroin and the needle, and every single piece of cotton I'd used since I moved in there. I dug around and found. And of course, it wasn't out where any of my animals were or anything like that. But in the bathroom and the closet and stuff, I dug around and found them in multiple bathrooms. And I was able to live off the cotton rinses for 3 more days. But then I ran out and I went to bed. And I woke up the next morning and I thought I was in withdrawals because my nose was runny and my pupils were big. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a Suboxone now, which is that medicine I told you about that helps you with withdrawals. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a Suboxone now, and I'll be good to go and fine and perfect, and my mom will come and I'll be fine, and I fixed everything, and I got it all under control. Meanwhile, I was trying to find more drugs, but until then I needed to take a Suboxone because I was getting sick. So I took a Suboxone, and I actually took it too soon. And when you take it too soon, it goes to your receptors in your brain, goes to the opiate receptor where all the heroin is, and it pushes it all out immediately. So instead of gradually having your body lose more and more, you lose it all simultaneously. Your body goes from being used to having heroin every day for a year in your body to having not a single drop of it in your body. And that was the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life, worse than any withdrawal I've ever experienced. I fell to the floor, covered in sweat, puking. My heart raced so fast that I blacked out. I came to try to crawl to the bathtub. I made it into the bathtub, convulsing, got hot water. I was changing from hot to cold, because I was dripping sweat, shaking, covered in goosebumps, but couldn't stop sweating. So I was hot to cold, passed back out again, got up, crawled out of the bathtub, fell asleep on the bathroom floor, woke up in my own sweat and vomit, crawled myself back outside by my bed, fell to the floor, couldn't make it in my bed, passed out again on the floor for about 6 hours, woke up shaking everywhere. I could not control any part of my body. It was convulsing and shaking everywhere. I was screaming, asking for anyone to hear me to help. I couldn't reach my phone. I was terrified. It was the scariest thing I've ever been through in my life. I would have chose death at that point if I could have. It was the worst pain ever. Every single part of my body was shutting down and freaking the hell out. And finally, after about 9 to 10 hours of this, I was able to get into the bed and fall asleep. And I was still sweating and shaking and sweating and shaking. And my whole entire bed was drenched in sweat. And I had a king size bed, so that's a lot of sweat. And I was still too cold to take the covers off, but too warm to have them on. It was the most worst thing I've ever felt in my life. And the whole time I was texting, begging anyone to come deliver me any drug that I could put in my body to make this pain go away. And my mom happened to knock on my door. And I knew there was no way in the world I could pretend to be okay. And there was no way I could say it was just a flu. This is not how you act when you have the flu. So I sat there for about 10 minutes and I texted my mom, I'll be right there. I was able to grab my phone and tell her. And I sat there for 10 minutes thinking, what am I going to do? And I finally just said, okay, I'm just going to tell her I'm in withdrawals. So I opened the door and I said, I am so sorry. And immediately told her everything, you know, like I'm in withdrawals. I haven't been sober. I've been trying to self-medicate. I'm not okay. I don't know what to do. And I begged for her to just let me go back to sleep and get through it, because the whole time in my head I was thinking, if I just go to sleep and get through this, my dealer can come in about 3 hours. I found someone that could bring me something, and she refused to leave. And she watched me all night. And the next morning she drove me an hour away to a rehab facility that said that they could take me. And I had to sign myself over. So the whole time I was thinking, I'm going to leave. The second I am not violently ill, I'm signing myself out and I'm going home and I'm just going to keep using. And I give up on my life. Fell asleep there that night, scared out of my mind, terrified, but finally able to take Suboxone and help like properly. So they gave me Suboxone and I took it and I actually felt okay. But of course I still had the mental cravings, but physically I was finally not sick. And it was amazing to not be sick for once because I spent like the last 3 months super sick. And I started making friends there and stuff. So I decided, I'll complete the detox period, which is 10 days. So I decided I was going to stay 10 days and then leave. All right, my camera died again. And so now I'm eating mochi, which I'm obsessed with right now. So I went to rehab and it changed my life. It kept extending the time in which I told myself I was going to self-check out. What word am I looking for? Discharge myself. That's the word. After being there for about 2 weeks, I actually started to listen.
Upon going to rehab, I found it in me to stop calling my boyfriend and get help to move on from the relationship. I ended things finally. Oh my God, this story is like... I mean, I guess I understand why people watch this, because it's like, this is like, you know, some raw shit right here, straight up. Yeah, you know what I thought about when I was listening to her say that? How she was basically saying, okay, I'm just going to do this one more thing, and then I'm going to change, right? Either for good or for bad. It's like, let me just shoot up one more time, and then I'm going to quit. Or let me just stay in rehab for like one more day to like get these people off my back, and then I'm going to leave. Well, actually, okay, you know what? Maybe I'll stay for a few days. I'll do the detox. Oh, you know what? And like, I can see where it's going. It's like, and then, you know, 3 months later or 6 months later, she was cured and she went home and her life's great now. This idea of like incremental progress, I think is very powerful, right? When you talk about like baby steps. There's this one concept, it's a Japanese concept, I think it's called, God, I always forget. I want to say Kareza, but I know it's not Kareza. Getting 1% better each day. What's it called? Kaizen. Okay, so it's called Kaizen, right? And like, fine, that's not like exactly what she's saying, but it kind of is, right? It's like, okay, well, instead of think about it logically, right? Like, let's say you're the junkie of junkies, you know what I mean? In your bathroom, like 60 needles, like that you just haven't bothered to throw away because you're like, whatever, you're a mess, you know? To go from that to thinking, okay, I'm going to get clean, I'm going to quit tomorrow, that's like a massive task. It's like borderline, I don't want to say impossible, but like you have to go through what she went through in order to have, like, to do that. Like, you got to go through withdrawals, you're going to be convulsing, sweating, like all kinds of awful stuff. But if you say, like, let's say you smoke cigarettes, right? Let's say you smoke a pack a day, you smoke 20 cigarettes a day. Okay, so what about the next day? Don't just quit, you know, why don't you just smoke 19, right? And then 18, and then 17, 16, 15, blah, 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 right? There's a drug that I take called Phenibut, where I'll take a gram a day. It gets you, like, I don't want to say it gets you high, but it kind of gets you, like, a little bit high. Like, it totally removes any sort of anxiety. It's kind of like a Xanax, except without really any of the negative effects of Xanax, where you, like, you eat a lot and like you lie around all the time and you're too tired and you get these like crazy like rage fits. Phenibut like doesn't do any of that. It just like completely removes your anxiety and makes you feel just like happy about being alive. But if I stop suddenly taking it, then I'm going to feel very bad. I won't convulse for 9 hours straight and like sweat my king size bed, you know, into a puddle. But I'll feel really bad. I'll get a headache. I'll get like really bad anxiety. I'll feel kind of like I have the flu. It's not pleasant. Clearly nothing like what she went through, but it's not pleasant at all. However, if I taper my dose to 900 milligrams, 800, 700, 600, 500, 400, like 100 milligrams a day, then by that 10th day, I don't even notice it, right? And it works the opposite way as well, right? Like, interestingly enough, this is something that I started doing yesterday, right? I talk about pickup. I'm interested in pickup. I want to get better at pickup. But for somebody like me, right, who I haven't really like had a like gone out in the nightlife scene regularly, like in years, you know, like just haven't done it. I also don't like approach people randomly on the street. Like, also haven't done that in years. I used to do it, but like not at all, really. You know, in a very long time. Occasionally, here and there, if it like makes sense socially, like somebody drops something, whatever, I'll go help, and then you can strike up a conversation that way. But to just like go approach some person and be like, hey, you know, I thought you were kind of interesting. I wanted to come over and see if you actually were or not. To go over and like deliver a line like that to somebody who's like crossing the street, walking in the other direction, that's a big step. Seems like a big step to me. And to do that like 10, 20 times a day also seems like a very big step. Do you understand? However, yesterday, I don't know how I got this idea in my head, but I was like, what if I just get Well, I know how I got it, right? It's something that the pickup coach that I signed up with, that he recommends. He's like, just get 1% better each day. So it's like, okay. And, I've known this for a while, procrastinated on it obviously forever. But yesterday I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. All right, so I'm walking down the street, and it happened totally by chance, actually. I was walking through a park because yesterday I had to get some creatine. So I'm like walking, whatever, it took like 30 minutes to get there, I end up walking through a park. And this girl wearing a red dress and like high heels is like walking towards me, and she's like walking like kind of sexy, right? And like we make eye contact, and I say, hey, how are you? And she's like, hello. And that's it. We just kept walking, right? That was it. There's no interaction other than that. And I was like, oh, that was so easy. That wasn't hard at all, right? And I was like, oh, that's 1% better, right? It's not like, okay, I didn't turn into like Mr. Don Juan overnight, but to go from like not saying anything to anybody to just saying hello to even one person, right? I did it a few more times over the course of the day and night, right? And then last night, like, there was like a bar at the hostel, and like I didn't really go out, but I stayed there for like 2 hours and like talked to people more, and like did a couple approaches, like talked to some people, talked to some girls. And it's like every little bit, you know what I mean? Like baby steps, like just focus on getting better at like one little thing about whatever your problem is every day. Drugs, obviously, it's a little bit more complicated than that because there is a physiological component. You will experience withdrawals. Like, I won't experience withdrawals if I, like, don't not talk to strangers on the street. I won't be like, ugh, I gotta, like, stay in my room by myself and not talk to anybody. It doesn't work like that. But making a conscious effort to get 1% better every day, and, like, waking up, let's say, in the morning and saying to yourself, okay, today I'm going to do this, right? Yesterday I did this. Like today, for example, let's say I was going to do this. And I really want to make a video series on this. Just procrastinating. But anyway, let's say, like yesterday I think I did it to, let's say 5 people. I went out and I said hi to 5 people, right? Today, I would say hi to 10 people, right? That's technically 1% better. Whatever. Is it exactly? I don't know. And then the day after that, let's say I would say hi and then give a compliment and then walk away, right? Like you progressively desensitize yourself more and more until you're at the point where you're doing the ultimately desired behavior, but without really thinking about it because you've worked up to it so slowly. And then like 3 months from now, oh my God, you get 1% better every day for 3 months. It's not 90% better because it's like compound interest, you know what I mean? Anyway.
And really hear things in a way that I never have before. And every day they had different world-renowned doctors come and people that have studied addiction for 20 years, 30 years, like people that have really been around this for a long time. And they taught me I wasn't some broken, disgusting thing. They taught me that I was sick and that I am sick and I'm going to have this problem for the rest of my life. And that I have never been crazy. That the alcohol, the 2 sips of it that drove me nuts and made me want more, that one little bump of cocaine that made me obsess about it, that's all part of this disease. And that there's a part of my brain that is different. It is really a real thing. If you don't believe that, that's okay. You don't need to try to tell me that I'm wrong. I accept that you don't believe that. I do highly suggest that if you have had someone in your life affect you from addiction.
All right. Let's just end on this. This whole like my brain is different. I'll just preface this entire thing by saying it's not stupid if it works, right? If you choose to believe what the world-renowned doctors say, your brain is different. You'll always have this problem. You can never use again, otherwise you'll be a junkie. And I don't think anybody should like try to moderately use heroin. No, I don't think that's a good idea. But if you believe that, and that's what gets you clean and gets you to turn your life around, then great, like go for it. It doesn't appeal to me, right? Like when I would go, I went to a couple of these meetings, and they were like, you have to admit you're an addict. Everybody said that. Like basically they'd go around and talk and be like, hey, my name's John, I'm an addict, and today I just want to talk about and tell some like fucked up story from when they were like on drugs. And I was like, this is what you guys do for like 4 hours a night? This is awful. And I didn't want to admit that to myself. I'm like, I'm not an addict, let's fucking stop. If I want to stop, I'll stop. And, I started and stopped many times, but I always believed that I could stop if I wanted to. And I know that's like typical, like that's like what a junkie would say, you know what I mean? And here I do take Phenibut sometimes. I'm out now, but I'm going to order some as soon as I have a permanent address, and I'll continue to take it. Is it like ruining my life? No, I don't think so. I mean, I think it makes my life better because it makes it easier to deal in social situations and like talk to people and, be friendly and outgoing, I guess. And I think those are good things. But if I was like, shooting, like if it led to like me shooting up heroin, it's probably not a good idea. Okay, so anyway, I spent way longer than I intended to on this video. I doubt anybody will even watch this. Spotted elephant. I guess thank you for telling me to do this. If it's really poppin', I don't know. I don't know how long my video actually is of this girl, but like, did I mute myself for this entire video? I wouldn't be surprised. All right. Anyway, if you guys have any questions or whatever, any more videos, let me know. Peace.